really excited to have Shawn Tubman join us. He's the Vice President of Sales and Marketing. He's been with Regent forever. He has been in the cruise industry back to Noah's days on the Ark. Were you the cruise director on the Ark, Shawn? I think that's where you got your start.
Yeah, the Ark. That was it. Yeah,
that was it.
But not that long.
Not that long. Shawn has essentially grown up in the industry. So if there's anybody that understands cruising, is someone that has been in the cruise industry for as long as he is. And we're glad to have him with us to walk you through not only kind of where we've been, what's been going on in the industry, to kind of level set some situations for you so you understand what's going on, but then talk about the Regent experience and the difference that you will find, I think, very compelling today. So thanks for joining us, Shawn. Let's get started. Why don't you kind of just give us an overview of kind of the last 6 months, what's been happening in Regent's world?
Well, great. And Ryan, you look great. I'm sure you have your gym shorts on underneath there, but I gotta say that
we do.
I've had a dress shirt on for a while, so it feels kind of good. I'm just really happy to be with you on this call, and I'm excited for your audience just to kind of get, hopefully they find it interesting. Just, I thought I'd just give you sort of an inside view of what's been happening in the industry and Regent Seven Seas, and how we've been dealing with things, what our challenges have been, and how we're going to come out of this. We don't have all the answers yet. Nobody has all the answers yet, but we've got a lot of good initiatives going. It's going to make cruising safe, and we will not sail until that point. So I got quite a bit to cover, and then want to talk a little bit about the product for those of you who have never cruised on Regent. I think I can give you a pretty good picture of what it's like, and so it'll be fun to just talk about what's going on. So your first question, what's been happening? This is
yeah, what's happening?
Yeah, well, I got a slide change here. I'll change, and I love this quote by Winston Churchill. It's been quite a year for all of us, hasn't it? It's been quite a ride. I think all of us would like to get off the ride by now. I think we've had enough fun and games. But when you're going through this stuff, you just got to keep pushing forward, and we'll do that, and we're learning every day how to, deal with this and how to make our product safer. And we will come out of this, I think, better as an industry, better as a society, and so forth. So very excited for what's going to come in the future here. So Annie, if you can just go to the next slide. There's somebody helping me for the slides here. But, if it hasn't been frustrating enough, right, this year with everything, we were off to our best start ever as a company. And 2019 was our best year ever also. So we're coming off a record year, and we were on a record pace. And we were so excited to show our brand new ship, the Seven Seas Splendor, which you and Anna had the chance to sail with us for a quick intro back in February. And it seems like eons ago since that happened. We all had such a great time, and the sailing was such a success. And then all hell broke loose, basically. We had to cancel the events. We had to cancel our, inaugural sailings and everything. And this beautiful brand new ship is sitting in Aruba right now, waiting for her debut. So, so we can't wait to get back to that. For everybody, I thought it would be kind of interesting to show you. I have a quick 3-minute video of our crew on board and talking about Splendor and the launch and what this new ship means to them, and welcoming the Splendor into our fleet. So I thought I'd play that real quickly for everybody before we get going.
My name is Frank Galzi. I'm the general manager.
Sushan Naik.
I'm Justin Reyes.
My name is Maria.
Tancredi, and I'm the restaurant manager here on Regent Seven Seas.
I'm a specialty waitress.
Sous chef, second officer, navigation.
I'm assistant cruise director on board. I've worked with Regent now for 8 years.
3.5 years.
10 years.
15 years.
I've been with Regent Seven Seas Cruises since the year 2000.
When it's a new build and you're actually starting everything from scratch, it's something that is challenging, but is also something that is very special.
And that's very exciting to see all the pieces coming together.
It gives you that feeling in your stomach because you're part of something new, part of something big, part of something exciting.
There's hundreds and hundreds of Regent crew pulling together and making the magic happen. It's simply breathtaking.
Day after day, you can see the changes and how the ship is transforming from being just a piece of metal into a beautiful lady that will be ready to cross the ocean and going around the world.
Everything has stepped up another level. It's luxury perfected.
The attention to detail that we have here is second to none within the cruising industry.
You find something amazing in every corner of this ship.
Splendor will be a new standard in the luxury cruise market, and our guests are going to appreciate the new luxury while discovering their new home away from home.
When they will come on board, they will say, wow, they might have a little tear of excitement.
They will also get to know and see how happy the crew are going to be, how proud of our ship the crew are going to be.
To have this honor, to do this for everybody who's coming, we're part of the heart of the ship, and you can feel it, and you can feel it coming together.
Regent is a fantastic family for our guests.
It's an amazing experience to be part of the Splendor team, working with professional chefs. They've all been selected to be part of the Splendor.
We are all his family, and also we are teamwork to provide everything to guests.
Working with Captain Serena, she's a fabulous leader. She's an example, not only as a captain, but also as a person.
I'm looking forward to work with Captain Serena to sail the world.
I'm so proud to work together with Captain Serena.
Not only she's a true lady, she's Italian, like me. So what is there not to be proud about?
We can always say that she's one of the best.
The Seven Seas Splendor is a very elegant ship. It's very tiny balance between simplicity and being sophisticated. We again push the bar, and that will amaze our guests. I'm very proud and I'm very honored that the company chose me. It's a unique experience in the lifetime of every captain.
Seven Seas Splendor, welcome to the Regent family.
Captain Melanie and Seven Seas Splendor crew, welcome on board.
I would like to wish to Captain Melanie and to the Splendor crew fair winds and calm seas on their maiden voyage.
Congratulations from your sister ship, the Seven Seas Explorer.
Welcome.
Seven Seas Splendor.
Welcome.
Welcome.
Welcome. Welcome, Seven Seas Splendor.
Welcome, Regent Seven Seas Splendor.
To the family.
Welcome to the family.
Welcome to the family.
Splendor, welcome to our Regent family.
Welcome to the family.
Welcome the Seven Seas Splendor to the Regent family.
It really is a family on board, and the family that our guests, the relationships they form with our crew on board and our officers and staff it's better than your real family because you don't have all the drama. they love them and they miss them, and you saw, we're so proud to have Captain Melanie as our first female captain. She's paid her dues and she's worked on our fleet for a long time, and very exciting. And here she's waiting like the ship itself. So I thought maybe, this slide I wanted to show just some specs of the ship. You can see how the ship, 55,000 tons for only 750 guests. This is a ship behind me. This is a large ship. And so with only 750 guests, it's huge space ratios on board the ship. And then you see the guest to staff ratio of 1.14. We almost have the same number of staff as we do guests on board. So the service and the standards we have are second to none. And this is our second, the second in this class of ship. The Seven Seas Explorer came out first, which I think you also saw, Ryan. And so this is the second in 3. There's a third that comes out in 2023.
Exciting.
Really exciting for us. It's taken luxury cruising to a whole nother level. Our other ships, the Voyager, Mariner, Navigator, are beautiful, fantastic luxury ships, but these new ships are just a different class. It's wider hallways and taller ceilings and broader expanses. It's just a different look and feel on this new class of ship. So anyway, I thought I'd ask you, since we're kind of going back and forth, maybe you can talk a little bit about what you experienced on board.
Yeah, the very last cruise that I was able to take was on Splendor, and so at the end of February, the inaugural sailing, here I am pictured with what I would phrase as the most beautiful woman in the world, my wife. She gets to join me on some of these wonderful occasions. And Splendor it's interesting, coming off of been on Explorer, the ship that is the next youngest in the fleet with Regent, was christened 4 years ago, and I was able to be there for that christening as well. And the picture of Explorer was it was the most luxurious ship ever built. And I didn't think it could be topped, but you've done it. And now Splendor is really luxury perfected, is what Regent has come up with. And you hear these words thrown about, but it really truly is luxury perfected. The picture on the right is myself with the president of Regent Seven Seas, Jason Montague. So we had a wonderful night. Even though we weren't able to be outside due to weather situations, the christening was a fantastic event for us to be a part of. I was very pleased to be able to get a picture with the godmother of Splendor, which would be Christy Brinkley, there with pictured with me. And one of our other highlights of the cruise was our ability, and I know you're going to talk about this later on, is it's not just Regent's hardware. It's not just the beautiful marble and the crystal chandeliers and the exclusive art collection that is on board that makes Regent so special. It's the food, the cuisine. And here we are, my wife and I, with one of the chefs on board in the Culinary Arts Kitchen. We were able to make some fine dishes. So we really enjoyed our time on board. And if Annie wants to come back and show some pictures of Splendor, it is a ship that, unfortunately, like you said, sitting in Aruba right now, it is being just so exciting to see that ship is going to be back in the water. As we start to look at some of these pictures, I've been able to sail on Regent a couple of times. And so, like I mentioned, I've been on Explorer, I've been on Navigator, and now I've been on Splendor. Here is the Culinary Arts Kitchen, just an expansive space for my wife and I to both tag team together. And we were able to cook some small dishes really from scratch. It wasn't difficult. So for those of you novices like myself in the kitchen, it's not difficult, but yet for those of you that can throw a whisk around a little better than me and you know all the terminology, this would be a great experience for you to participate in the Culinary Arts Kitchen. But the space ratio that you talked about, Shawn, is just an amazing thing. And the gross tonnage, a lot of times cruisers don't understand public space to passenger ratio. It's the largest in the industry. And so you never feel cramped. But yet at the same time, it's an intimate gatherings and different spots around ship. The appointments in the rooms and the suites are just phenomenal. Every suite has its own, is a balcony. And the
that's our starting suite there.
Yeah, isn't that scary that's quote unquote the worst cabin, the worst suite. I don't even want to use the
right, that's the lowest.
Right? The lowest category that you can book on the Splendor, that's the worst it's going to be, and it only gets better from there. And to kind of talk to as well, Shawn, you mentioned the crew to guest ratio, and a lot of times cruisers don't understand what that means. You want a really low number. 1 to 1.4 is an unbelievable number. What does that mean to the cruiser? It means there are more people to help me. There's more people to service my needs, to carry my bags, to find me the wine that I'm really looking for, to deliver that great dessert. And then if there is a challenge or a situation that arises on ship, there's more people to help. And trust me, I'd love to have more people to help me. So as we go through some of the spaces here, this is the 4,400 square foot Regent Suite, the best suite on the water. There's only 2 of them on the water, one on Explorer and one on Splendor. We were able to take, I didn't get to sleep in that fantastic bed. That mattress, I think, is valued at more than my house is, I believe. But what a phenomenal crown jewel of the ship is the Regent Suite on Splendor.
Yeah, that mattress is horsehair, and it's $150,000.
Unbelievable.
That one mattress. And Annie, if you could back up 2 slides to the bathroom. Now, this is your ensuite bathroom with fantastic views and a spa inside the bathroom. And so anybody that books this suite, and it averages about $5,000 per day per person based on 2 people. But you have unlimited spa treatments at your beck and call 24 hours a day in this, and it's in your suite. It's just the most amazing.
Could I get quarantined in the Regent Suite next time? That'd be okay.
Right. Right. So then, Annie, if you could forward again to the.
Yeah, so it's amazing to look at the Splendor, and that's available. But Shawn, there's some other things we probably should be kind of bringing everybody up to speed on. Let's maybe talk about some business side of things, if you could bring our audience up to speed.
Well, yeah, you know, this past 4 or 5 months, it's been quite a challenge because we didn't get really any federal stimulus money. So we had to go out into the public financial markets and raise capital because we have no revenue coming in and lots of cash going out in the form of refunds to people that were on sailings that were canceled. And, you know, I'm not sure if all your viewers know about us, but we are part of a big public company called Norwegian Cruise Line Holdings. And that umbrella consists of 3 cruise lines: Norwegian Cruise Line, which is in the contemporary market space. Then you have, if you move up, you go to Oceania, which is in the premium, ultra luxury premium. And then you go to luxury itself with Regent Seven Seas. So we're all under this financial umbrella holding company of Norwegian Cruise Line Holdings. And so we went out there and we asked for we're trying to raise a certain amount of money, and we actually were oversubscribed by the financial market. And it was such a great sign because it just showed how confident they are in the cruise market. Even though this is a pandemic, it's unprecedented, obviously, and it's ground everything to a halt. They know the track record of the industry and how successful it has been and how much it's been growing for 30 years. Right. So they oversubscribed. So it put us in a very good financial position. But as you know, like, we had to start making canceled sailings, and we would do 1 month at a time, basically. So not to overburden your staff, Ryan, and not overburden our teams, because it's all a manual basis. Our systems were never set up to refund and cancel this many sailings all at the same time. So everything's manual and all had to be audited. So it's the same for you. You are just inundated with all the cruise lines, not just us. So we've been trying to do it in a uniform manner. And we've offered people a full refund if they want it, or 125% as a future cruise certificate to sail with us again. And I'm happy to say that in the beginning, more people were opting for refunds. Now, more people are opting for the future cruise certificate, because 125%, where else in the market can you make a 25% return on investment? Anywhere these days, you just can't. So it's not a bad deal, and we're getting a lot of people to opt for that.
Yeah, I mean, you have obviously done a great job of raising capital. Really, what does that provide Regent Seven Seas?
Well, we actually just raised some more in the past month that your viewers may have heard about. And it's really because this pandemic has kind of rolled along, and it's been a little bit of a resurgence lately. So we wanted to be very prudent, and we wanted to have a runway into 2022 with no revenue coming in. So we went out to the public markets, and lo and behold, we were oversubscribed again. They gave us more than we were asking for. So we're in a fantastic, all the major three, public company, cruise companies are in a very solid position here to weather this storm. But it's expensive debt, you can get the debt, but it's expensive. So, we're very, very optimistic though about the future.
And so are we. And speaking of the future, I know today, unfortunately, there was another extension to the suspended list of sailings. And so if I'm a cruiser, I think it's an obvious question to ask, but really what goes into the decision for Regent to begin cruising again?
Yeah, that's the billion-dollar question. What is it going to take to get back to sailing again? There's really four main factors that we're kind of looking at, making sure we go through each one uniformly. First, it's making sure that we're protecting the health and safety of our guests and our crew. So we will not sail, like the CDC, you may have heard that CDC has this no sail order that went till the end of July, and they just extended it till the end of September. We, as an industry, had already really canceled all sailings through the end of September before the CDC even extended it.
Right.
And so, even if the CDC lifts this no sail order in the end of September, we may still not sail until we feel confident that our product will be safe. Now, we believe that the CDC may extend that a little while longer, and that's fine. We will not really sail until they do lift the order. It only pertains to U.S. waters, but we're not going to do it until we feel comfortable. One thing I think it's kind of interesting for your audience to know too is that, we were a poster child for this pandemic in the beginning when a couple of the cruises, the ships had such problems. And really we learned a lot as an industry after that initial, occurrence. They really took people on from hotspots. They boarded people when they shouldn't have boarded people from hotspots. And that's before anybody realized what was going on. So everybody really learned from that. I'm happy to say we didn't have any COVID cases on our ships.
That's right.
And that's, you definitely have to chalk that up to luck, partly. But I think the other factor though is because we've always taken such measures for cleanliness and sanitation on board the ships. I know some of your audience have cruised, and they probably cruised on us. I think some of them probably too. And they know the level of sanitation. They know how much we clean these ships and how much we politely say, and this may change, hey, you're coming in here, wash your hands, use this antibacterial, lotion. It may change to, you need to use this before you come in the lounge, right? You do not have access. But the other thing I think is that remember we were talking about the space ratios, that is a huge thing because we have natural distancing anyway on board our ships. And we're going to reduce capacity when we first start sailing. So we're not even going to have 750 people on that huge ship. So that's going to help. And then the other thing is our guests. Like our guests on board are very well-educated, well-heeled, well-traveled. They're very cognizant of sanitation and cleanliness. And so all that helps us get through this. Anyway, I wanted to just, to touch on that first point, I wanted to just show a couple slides here. Annie, if you could go to the next slide. We're really excited about this. This is called the Healthy Sail Panel. And really for the first time in the industry, both Norwegian Cruise Line Holdings and Royal Caribbean and their family of brands, which is Silver Sea, Azamara, Celebrity, and Royal Caribbean, we are working collaboratively on this expert panel that will help us give recommendations to the CDC on how we will really cruise safely in the future. What needs to be done? What do we see? Because the CDC is just focused right now on the United States. They are trying to deal with this pandemic. They're looking to us to drive this, to show them what we can do, instead of them trying to tell us what we should do. So this is a really cool panel. It's got great chair people. Governor Michael Levitt, who was former governor of Utah and head of the HHS, and then Dr. Scott Gottlieb, who was head of the FDA, and he's been on a lot of the talk shows lately. They're chairing this, and then the panel itself has an assortment of experts from all different disciplines, public health, infectious disease, hospitality. We've got former executives of the CDC on the panel, and then of course our chairs. And then we have our EVP, CVP, SVPs from the 2 different cruise lines to really make sure we can execute these recommendations to the CDC.
It's an impressive panel, Shawn, and one thing I love about it is you mentioned the collaborative nature. This is a cruise line specific thing that you need to button up, but you haven't just said, we're going to try to figure this out. You are under the Norwegian Cruise Line Holdings brand, but then also wrapping in what Royal Caribbean has been able to do. That's exciting to me, in the most challenging situation I think any of us have ever seen in our life. To have many smart people putting together a plan gives me confidence.
Yeah, and it's going to be open source, so we'll share it with all the cruise lines and the travel industry. And I know Carnival's working with another council also. I think it's the World Travel and Tourism Council on their recommendations. So there's a lot being done on that front. And then the next slide, if you could, Annie, I just wanted to real quickly, just a couple things, because everybody's asking, well, how's it going to change on board? What's it going to look like? And we don't know yet. Frankly, we do not know. And that's what this panel is working on. But we do know some things we do know. And we're going to take cues from the airlines. You'll see air filtration systems that pump in fresh air every minute. There is no recycled air on board. And they'll have the state-of-the-art HEPA filters on board. We'll have isolation areas with their own separate filtration if we do have any flu, like just the basic flu on board, or, if COVID is still going and we're sailing. We'll have the fogging, the electrostatic fogging throughout the ship all the time in all the public spaces and the suites. We'll have public health officers on board. In case anything happens, we're prepared to manage, situations like that. So we're throwing a lot of resources at it for our ships, and then our guests themselves. We want to make sure that they're safe. So embarkation is going to be really stepped up. Screening, staggered screening, no lines or so forth at embarkation. You'll see food service. The days of the buffets are probably over, right. The way that they used to be. But even on our ships, like the Pool Grill, you go up and you order and we bring the food to you. So we'll still, that's what I think it's going to morph more into. And we may not offer galley tours anymore where you can walk through the kitchen. I don't think that's going to fly in this new world. But anyway, so that's safety, just some of the things for our guests. And then our crew. We want to make sure that the crew is properly educated, knowledgeable, prepared, trained. We're spending a lot of time with the crew to make sure that they don't have anything and they don't spread anything. And the days of 4 crew members to a room or 6 crew members to a room, like the Navy, that's not the way it is anymore on ships. There's only 2 maximum to a room. So just some of those kind of things.
Excellent. You're covering a lot of great points here. When I think of when and where and when is that first ship going to hit the water, it sounds like you've got a really conservative approach that's based not in, we just got to sail on November 1st, if you want to walk through that a little bit.
Right, yeah. And, did you, I can't see. Yeah, so You're still on, no, that's good. That slide you have with the bullets, really. I just wanted to touch on a couple other factors that have to be solved. And the second one are the bans globally. You know, the country's opening up. You need the ports to be open and the countries to be open, so you have some place to sail. And then, you know, you've got airlift that has to be, you know, in place to get everybody to these ports of call. So all that will be happening. It's starting to happen around the world. I think the toughest job would be our itinerary planners to try to figure out, you know, how to put these itineraries or how to modify things as things go. But they work every day, all day long on that. And we're talking to all the ports that we go to and all our excursion suppliers and tour operators and sports. The third is getting consumer confidence back. And I think, you know, a lot of what we're doing is working towards this. And we're also making the policies more flexible. So it gives more people more of a chance to cancel if they really want to, closer into sailing. And so we have something called Regent Reassurance, where you can cancel now up to 15 days and then get a future cruise certificate for your full deposit or payment. You know, it's got to be paid in full. But so the final thing really is relaunching the ships, and we're going to do it in a very safe, controlled, staggered manner. So you may see one ship at first, and maybe the next month we'll bring on another ship, and maybe the next month the next ship, and a very controlled relaunch of the fleet. Where and when, you know, the crystal ball is still a little cloudy on that.
Well, I mean, it is going to come.
Yeah, yeah, it's definitely going to come, you know, and I think, you know, all the experts pretty much agree that we should have a vaccine by either end of the year or end of Q1 at the latest. There's so much being done on that front, and it's so exciting, all the trials that are happening right now. But,
yeah, I mean, speaking of that, you know, with the highlights of what's coming, you know, 2021 is around the corner. And so you've definitely touched on, thank you for touching on all the financing and the safety factors. So important for everybody to have an understanding of that before they put down a deposit. And that's important to us at Bon Voyage, that we deliver that type of expertise and understanding before a traveler makes their decision. But how are bookings coming, and what are some of the highlights? We've got a slide here that you can walk through and get people. Now let's start getting excited about cruising.
Yeah, and it is exciting. There is life. 2020, forget it, but 2021 is pretty exciting. Right now, quarter one, we're not really looking at quarter one. We're looking really quarter two and beyond of next year. And when we look at our bookings year over year, so where we were last year at this point in time for 2020, we look now at what we're booking for 2021, and we compare the two. And our capacity right now being booked for 2021 is only 10 points behind where we were a year ago. And you're comparing that, and that includes quarter one, which is really, we're not really trying to book much. When you take that away, we're only about 4 points behind where we were a year ago. And that compares us when we were selling our brand new ship. So it's sold a lot and it's sold early. So it's amazing we're within historical ranges already for 2021. And the same thing for 2022. We're basically at the same capacity booked for 22 as we were a year ago for 21.
Wow,
so
it's exciting.
It is amazing. Like what's really booking, what's really hot is Northern Europe and the Mediterranean. And I'll just, you know, some of it, and Alaska is very hot. Those three itineraries are really booking the most. And that's where we have a lot of our inventory, of course, in spring, summer, fall. So we're really excited because the Splendor's doing Northern Europe and the Baltics. And then in the winter, it'll do Caribbean. Which is going to be really exciting, a great opportunity close to home. And then her sister ship, which came out right before her, the Explorer, is doing Alaska. And there is no comparison with any ship in the Alaska market to Seven Seas Explorer. It's a game changer for Alaska. And so right now it's outpacing where we were a year ago for 20 when we didn't have any problems. That's how hot that itinerary is. And then, you know, we have the Med and the Voyager and Mariner. We're doing World Cruise on the Mariner. And then we're doing really cool, some really cool grand voyages, they're called, and they're longer cruises of 40, 50, 60 days. So we're doing a really cool one on the Navigator, which I'll show real quickly here. So Annie, if you can just flip through these. First, I wanted to show, we have a really cool grand tour on the Splendor starting August 30th of 2021. This is a 59 night, and you can see it goes all through Scandinavia and British Isles and Western Europe and into the Med. And you can break it up into, we sell segments of 14 days and so forth within that, but we have a lot of people that love to get these longer cruises. Then on the next one, we have a grand voyage on the Navigator. And this is our smallest ship. It holds 490, very intimate, it's a favorite of our past guests. And she's doing a 94 night grand Arctic voyage. And it goes from New York round trip, and it goes to Greenland, Iceland, does a Scandinavia, British Isles, Western Europe, and then back, New England, and back to New York. And so it's just, that's a really cool one that's selling really well. And then I think we have the World Cruise. I just wanted to show this for 22. This is we wanted to do something different in 22. Instead of just going around the whole world,
right,
wanted to really focus on the Western Hemisphere. So this goes round trip out of San Francisco, and it's a phenomenal 120 night itinerary. And again, you can book it in segments. We have 6 different segments that you can book within it. And then, Annie, the next one is Alaska. Can't remember. Yeah, so here's a typical Alaska itinerary on the Explorer, which we were talking about, the really hot Alaska market. So we do 7 nights and 10 nights, and they're all open jaw, meaning we go from Vancouver to Seward. Anchorage, you fly out into Anchorage or fly out of Anchorage. And you can add on that Denali package. It's just, if you do this, you definitely want to do the 4-night Denali package. It'll blow you away. We did it 2 years ago. And when you go into Hubbard Glacier, for example, you cruise in, and it takes you 6 hours to 5 hours to cruise into this glacier area. You're going through fjords. And then and it's tiny, and you get to it, and then it's 400 feet high, and the ship just turns around and sits there, and it's quiet, and you listen and you watch it, and you see the ice calving, and the sound is like thunder. It's just it's such a cool experience. But we can get into that because we're small ships. So anyway, sorry, I'm going on and on, but Annie, I'll try to go more quickly here. And then this is real popular, the round trip Cape Town on the Voyager. Very popular, and so we're excited about that. So where are we here? So
yeah, those are great examples of some fantastic itineraries and really something to dream about and plan for. But let's kind of dive in more about the Regent experience itself. You've given great itineraries, but what separates Regent from the rest?
Yeah, it's there's a number of reasons why. First is our staff. Second are the ships. We think we're in the sweet spot in capacity for luxury ships. Some of our competitors have smaller ships. Some of our competitors have 1,000 people on board, and that kind of has an effect on a luxurious delivery. So our ships go from 490 guests to 750 maximum. And again, all suites, all balconies, all walk-in closets. These walk-in closets are bigger than some of the bedrooms, that I have in my house.
Right.
They're small enough to be intimate, no crowds, no lines, but large enough to have the fantastic entertainment and activities and casinos and you name it. And there's no rock climbing walls or surfing on board the ship or photographers that are stalking you all the time trying to take your bloody picture. It's none of that stuff. But it is, our tagline is unrivaled experience. And that's what we're trying to provide is a seamless travel experience from start to finish, from the time you leave home with included airfare and the business class air overseas, to the time you get back. You don't really worry about anything on our ships. It's all about the service and the food and the cuisine. But I think we have a slide, Annie, on the, okay, so here's, somewhat of our brand pillars. We go to 450 different ports within the world. Everywhere you can imagine we go to. The service, the suites, the hardware, the software, really is what it's all about. But it really all comes together because of the next slide, which is our all-inclusive product that we offer. Again, this affords everyone the chance to do the cruise the way they'd like to do it without worrying about a thing. So when they book with us, everything's included. I mean, just about everything. And you'll hear some in the other luxury lines say it's all-inclusive luxury cruising, but they include 2 or 3 items. But we don't, the only things we don't include are the bars and the gift shops and the spa. That's it. Everything else is pretty much included. The business class air, intercontinental flights. We do land programs, sometimes for free included. These are 2 or 3 night land programs costing $3,000, $4,000 that are included on certain voyages. We do pre-night hotels for concierge category and above, so you can get in and get rested. And that's 80% of our ship. It's just the couple lowest. But everything else is included. All the beverages, all the spirits, open bars, all premium liquors. The mini bar in the suite is stocked and always refilled. We'll have, you tell us I like, Bullet Bourbon, it'll be in your room for you. We'll have the bottle in there when you come in. And so it's just that kind of thing. All the excursions are included, and they're fantastic excursions. So it just gives you that unbelievable experience that you'll never forget.
Well, that all-inclusive nature really, truly separates you. And that's a phrase that people hear a lot in the industry. Oh, we're all-inclusive. But when you start to dig into it, and this is where we feel Bon Voyage can assist our travelers in understanding what all-inclusive might mean to a different cruise line, we would truly say Regent Seven Seas is the most, by far, the most inclusive cruise line in regards to what you get. And you use the word seamless. It's just nice to not have to whip out your key card for every little thing and have a transactional experience. I don't want a transactional experience on a vacation. I want to relax, and there's nothing more relaxing than not being asked for my key card. I just get a drink when I need it. I get the food if I want an extra appetizer. There are no specialty restaurants with an upcharge that I go, is it worth it tonight to add that to my experience? No, it's not an extra charge. It's totally worth it. Go book the extra experience.
I tell you, when you're sitting there with 8 of your friends and you're ordering drinks, nobody has to worry about, I got to buy this round, and
That's
who's
right.
going to buy the next round? Or, some of the cool things are, you may meet a couple at night and you're going to go on an excursion the next day, and you end up wanting to go with them on their excursion. You can cancel right there and book as long as there's space available. Which
No cancellation fee when there's no fee on the excursions.
Don't worry about that. You just, right, exactly. Right. It's awesome, It's the best. It's the best value proposition out in the industry because of this, the way we, price ourselves and the way that everything's included. When you compare it to, you've had probably many people on the call here have been on, premium lines like Holland America or Celebrity or, Azamara. And, by the time we have a great comparison chart, I think, Annie, right? Yeah, we have this tells the story. Don't take our word for it. Do the math yourself. And by the time you price out all the things that are included, we sometimes beat. Like, here's an example where we actually beat premium lines in the Mediterranean. We're typically 15, 20% higher when all's said and done. But what an opportunity to do luxury cruising. What a payoff. For 10, 15, 20% more on average. It's just a whole nother world. So So it's made us very successful. We have so many past guests on our line that we just had to add 2 new levels to the loyalty program. So we have a new level because some people have so many nights that they've sailed with us and they get all these perks and benefits as they, move up. We had to add diamond level for 1,000 nights on board.
Wow.
And then we added Commodore level for 2,000 nights. And we have lots of people that are in those categories now. I mean, they love to sail. They love being, the relationships they have on board. They come on, they know everybody and all the staff knows them. It's like a love fest,
I love it. 1,000 nights of not having to worry about anything. It sounds pretty alluring to me. Shawn, our audience may not be interested in traveling right away with some of the itineraries that are out there. There's new itineraries though coming. You guys are already working on 2022 and 2023. Talk to us a little bit about what's in the longer term future.
I'll tell you, they really should. Oh, here's a great picture of your team.
Yeah, that's us.
That's your team. And really, we have some exciting stuff coming out, and we got some season launches coming. But I'll tell you, this is where if people haven't cruised on Regent, they should be talking to your fantastic team. We have such a close working relationship.
Yeah.
Bon Voyage, for those of you on the call that may not be aware of that, Bon Voyage is one of the leaders in premium luxury river cruising, among other things. But for us, they're one of our top producers. And so we have such a close relationship that they always are in the know earlier than most other agents out there. And they have so many different special perks from dealing with us and so much business. And we love to do a lot of marketing together because it pays off for both of us. So they know they know how to tell you how to craft your vacation experience. They understand Regent. They're so knowledgeable of it. So when you're looking, at what Regent's all about, they can really guide you with what's the right itinerary, what's the right time of year, what's our audience like on board, and so forth. So talking about, we're going to launch. Right now, we're open through May of 22. And it's amazing these days how far out people book. They used to book a year out. Now they book 2, they'll book 3 years if we open up the space. So we're going to open up from May 22 to May of 23 in October of this year. And we're going to open up our World Cruise for 2023 in September. So very shortly, we're going to be doing the new product launch seasons. So very exciting. And then we have the new Splendor. We have the 3rd in this class is coming out in 2023. So it'll be here before we know it. And we'll somehow have to top the Splendor. I don't know how we'll do it, but I think we'll do it.
I have a feeling you'll get there. Let's keep moving forward in our presentation. We're getting a little bit closer to the end of our time. So why don't you talk a little bit, Shawn, about some of the promotions that are out there? What would be the incentive for someone to book now, knowing the current situation? If I'm looking, I want to have that reassurance. So kind of walk through why I should book now.
Yeah. Well, there's probably not a better time if people are looking to go in 21 or 22, there's probably not a better time to get the best deal out there right now. Because we do raise prices normally throughout the year. And because of this reduced capacity that's going to be in effect, and the way we're going to stagger things, prices are probably not going to go down next year. That's not a marketing cliche. That's going to be probably the way it's going to be. So this is a good opportunity. And the beauty of it is we're providing this level of security called Regent Reassurance. And so if they book, they can cancel up to 15 days prior to sailing and get the future cruise certificate that they can use for 2 more years. So it gives them flexibility and time to use it. And so right now, this is available across our fleet. And you also get $1,000 shipboard credit when you book. So $1,000, you can imagine, you can go to the boutique and use it in the gift shop and just buy things.
Send me to the spa, baby. I'm good.
You can use it in the spa. You can get private car transfers from the airport to the ship. You can get private car, excursions in the ports of call using this, and we're trying to be, more flexible with deposits. So we have a 50% deposit. So it's a great, great program to show you, though, how things are progressing. Like we're talking about the bookings for 21. We're next. So you've got like 3 days left for this offer. In August 1st, this offer goes to strictly Alaska and Europe. Alaska and Europe, because again, that's what's really booking. And we have more capacity in those markets because we're spring, summer, fall in both of those markets. Versus, when you do Asia, you do it for like 2 months, in the winter time. It's a very, very limited window for different itineraries. South America is usually 3 months in the winter. Caribbean's 3 months in the winter for us. So, but these are the ones we have the most capacity on. So it's going to change, and you can see we're starting to narrow it down a little bit as we go. So it's a fantastic opportunity right now. And we do, I know, working with you, we have some extra special offers right now.
Which is great. I mean, I know this is a fleet-wide and an agency and a booking-wide promotion that you're seeing on the screen right now that does expire at the end of the month. So you can take advantage of that. And Shawn, you spoke to why just with the booking patterns, but because of our viewers and the ability to book through Bon Voyage, we also have the ability over the next 2 weeks to come in with additional savings, which could be shipboard credit up to $1,000 per suite and an additional $200 per suite of shipboard credit. So you could be looking at $1,200, and you've got 2 weeks to book that with Bon Voyage. So that's something that we want to make sure all of our listeners and viewers understand. You do have extra time. This is, kind of the Regent promo that's out for all. But you book with Bon Voyage, you have more opportunity to take advantage of that additional shipboard credit per suite.
Yeah, you beat me up pretty good for that exclusive offer.
Yeah, it kind of shows. Well, you mentioned my wife Anna, and we've had a chance to dine on board with your wife Denise, and we're good friends. But what's scary is I think our wives get along even better. So I should probably credit my wife Anna and Denise for getting that extra couple of weeks.
That's right.
Promotional opportunity. While we're talking about booking, let me just ask you a quick question about the booking incentives and such. And I'm going to put you on the spot here. One of our people asked about single supplements. I believe there's something going on for solo travelers now, which is a very popular way to travel.
Yeah, that's a hot market, and we do have single supplements. We have a special going right now, and it's I think it's just fantastic, the opportunity for solos on board, and we do have a lot of solos on board, so it's a great experience. It's very comfortable. Our crowd is just the crowd on board is just phenomenal. They're so well traveled and so friendly. It's a pretty cool atmosphere.
It's a great atmosphere, and I would encourage anybody that's thinking about making a booking, right, to talk to a Bon Voyage travel advisor, especially if you're looking at that solo single supplement, because there's going to be some perks and advantages there. So talk to your advisor about that. But when I think about, you mentioned some really interesting things in regards to the hardware, the culinary, this great promotion, right? A great reason to want to book with and travel with Regent. When I think back to maybe two of my most fond memories of sailing on Regent, these are our two children. This is Brock on the left and Jack on the right. And when we sailed just last year on Explorer, our two guys were 13 years old and 10. And many people questioned us and said, is Regent really a family-friendly cruise line? Wouldn't you rather have them on the rock climbing wall? Well, we've done that, and that was great. But if you want your kids to really start to understand the beauty of travel, the excitement of travel, learn something new, we took them to the Hermitage in St. Petersburg. They loved the museum experience. But what made the trip was the crew on board Explorer. And to your left here, you see our youngest Brock, as every time we would get on and off the ship, he would get a hug from the porter. So that, I mean, he knew he had somebody welcoming him back to the ship, not just with, let me see your key card for security. There was a hug every time because she wanted him to know he was home as he was on the ship. Our son on the right is Jack, and he loved getting chocolate milkshakes. On a 10-night cruise, we counted, and he consumed 33 chocolate milkshakes. And this night in particular, we were in Pacific Rim, and the waitstaff came around and offered some great dessert options. And Jack was kind of like, I don't think I want dessert tonight. But because the crew knew who Jack was, about 2 minutes later, here came a chocolate milkshake. And you can see the smile on his face. I can't remember what number of milkshake this was. This was later on in our itinerary, but that shows the level of compassion, the level of understanding, anticipating the needs of the cruisers. And the crew really did come and shine in this moment. Our kids will never forget this experience that they had on board Explorer, Shawn. I just wanted to kind of sprinkle that in my own little experience there, but I think we've covered the promotions. Is there anything else, Shawn, you wanted to share before we end our time together?
You know, no, I mean, that's just so cool about your kids, and that says it all. You know, that's what it's like. It's like a family on board, and it's just a great experience. So we look forward to hosting, you know, your audience. I know that some of you have cruised on us before, because Bon Voyage has a lot of our past guests who cruise a lot, and I think I know some of you probably. So hello. Kind of weird doing this versus in person. We have a lot of fun when we're in person.
Oh, we do have fun. That is for sure.
Yeah, but it's just, we love the relationship, and we're excited to have everybody back. I wish I had more details of when and where and what it's going to look like, but that'll all work out, and we'll get through this, and it's just going to be gangbusters in the future.
Yep. We're very excited about today's presentation. Shawn, I want to thank you for joining us. I also just want to remind all those listeners, take advantage of the promotion that I beat Shawn up over. Let's get a lot of bookings. And again, you've got 2 weeks to make your decision to really take advantage of the best promotional marketing opportunity in the cruise space for Regent is right now. So there's no time like the present. And not to beat you guys up on the call, but that Regent Reassurance program gives you the confidence. Put the booking down now. You have the opportunity to make changes if your life or the world continues to be a challenge for you. We understand it. We're here to work through all of that. But without kind of finishing up here, Shawn, thanks again for joining us. We appreciate you guys and everything you do for Regent, for Bon Voyage Travel.
Thank you. And it's always fun talking to you, Ryan. So stay safe.
All right, you too as well. And for those that are on the call, we'd love to see you next week, same time. Bon Voyage Travel's weekly webinar series continues. We've got a full slate of opportunities for you to connect with us virtually. For the entire month of August, go to Bon Voyage Travel's website, which is bvtravel.com/events, and you can sign up for your next engaging opportunity in our Zoom room. Thanks again, Shawn, and safe travels, and be safe to everybody out there.